Hey there, good afternoon. I'm Aaron Blank, President and CEO of the Theory Group, a full-service public relations and communications firm focusing on biotechnology, life science, and the healthcare industry here in the Northwest. I'm here at Life Science Innovation Northwest, currently with Dr. Jeff Chamberlain, who is the Business Development Manager at Pacific Biomarkers. Jeff, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Jeff, we were just talking a little bit about, why are you involved in any capacity with Life Science Innovation Northwest?
Well, I've been involved with the conference for a lot of years now, starting out as a graduate student at the University of Washington in bioengineering. This was a great way to kind of learn more about the industry beyond the lab bench that I was stuck at a lot of the times. And since then, coming into the industry here, it's just a great way to connect with colleagues and network within, the Pacific Northwest.
What is Pacific Biomarkers?
So Pacific Biomarkers is a service laboratory for pharma, biotech, and diagnostic companies to run immunoassays for them to help them figure out the safety and efficacy of their drug programs.
And how many staff do you guys have?
We're around 65 people.
And how many, at any given time, how many lab testing things are you guys doing at one time?
It varies, but we could have anywhere from 10 to 50 projects ongoing at any given time.
So why is Pacific Biomarkers here? And from your company perspective, what do you get out of Life Science Innovation Northwest?
Well, it's just a great way to stay plugged into the community and build some awareness about our company, and we want our clients are the pharma and biotech nationally, but it's great to work locally with people who are just right next door.
Mm-hmm. So what sort of trends are you seeing in the life science industry from a biomarker standpoint? Obviously, biomarkers entail that you guys, all different types of diseases, not just cancer. It's diabetes. It's every sort of possible disease you could possibly imagine.
Certainly.
What are the trends in the industry?
It's increasing a lot. And I think a lot of that is driven by the technology that is enabling the measurements of these biomarkers. And also just these products, these drug products, these therapeutics are getting ever more advanced. And being able to measure these biomarkers gives you a more fine-tuned idea of how your drug is working. And so the more information that these companies are able to pull out of their clinical trials, the better they are able to direct it towards a specific patient population, or figure out where else their drug is going to work in the future.
10 years from now, what does the industry look like from a biomarker standpoint? Is it going to be mainstream in everything? And what do you see it forecasting 10 years down the road?
Sure. Yeah. I think it's going to increase in prevalence, and people are going to be measuring really large panels of biomarkers. So we talk about cancer immunotherapy. Interfacing with the immune system, there are a number of signaling molecules, and the trend in biomarkers is to measure more and more of these biomarkers from a single sample, and so multiplexing. And it's something Pacific Biomarkers is really trying to push forward. And so as the technology improves and as our understanding of these pathways improves, the desire to gain more information from those samples is just, I think, going to increase.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, in terms of your panel discussion that you're moderating tomorrow, what's it about?
So a little bit of a shift, not quite focused just on biomarkers per se, but it's a little more coming out of a technology that was largely developed here in Seattle at the Fred Hutch, Seattle Children's, and it's CAR T therapy. And so this is essentially taking a person's immune cells out of their body, training them to recognize their cancer, and then growing them up and then reinfusing them back into the patient. It's been a really kind of taken the industry by storm in the last 2 years, and so there's been a lot of media buzz about it, but what we want to do in the panel is really drill down into how are they commercializing these technologies now. Not just, the title is Beyond the Hype. So there's been a lot of excitement. Now let's talk about actually on the ground, how is this working? How is it treating patients? And when are we actually going to see this as commercial products?
So what's special about Washington State and Seattle in the life science industry?
So from the perspective of this panel, both the Fred Hutch and Seattle Children's have people, the technology that Juno Therapeutics, for instance, was founded on, came out of those, in part, those two institutions, as well as Memorial Sloan Kettering out in New York. And so that technology has spun out into Juno so that they can start commercializing it. But both Seattle Children's and Fred Hutch are continuing to really push on the technology and develop sort of next generation therapies. So, Seattle is an epicenter of this CAR T therapy, and I think will continue to be into the future.
Is there anything else you want to share to anyone that's attending Life Science Innovation Northwest or Life Science Washington about the industry or Pacific Biomarkers in general?
No, I think it's great to get all these people together here at this conference. Would encourage anyone who hasn't been here before to come in the future years. And I think there's a lot of opportunity in this space, and Seattle's going to continue to grow, and excited to be a part of it.
Great. Dr. Jeff Chamberlain from Pacific Biomarkers, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
I'm Aaron Blank reporting live from Life Science Innovation Northwest on behalf of Life Science Washington.